call the regular monthly meeting of the Johnson County Fiscal Court order at this time. Thank you for bearing with us a little bit. We were trying to get some last minute bills looked at there. First item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Gamble, would you please do the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is the approval of the minutes of the October 10th, 2008 special meeting. And I'd just like to mention today, for the purpose of information, the reason that we moved this meeting from the following week to this week was because the commissioners have a meeting out of town. I'm going to try to make that as well. It's kind of a year-end thing, and we'll kind of end our term except for Commissioner Adams. And we didn't want the bills to be late being paid, and that's just a nuts and bolts thing, no sinister reason about it or anything like that. So glad everybody's here. Hate to disrupt your holiday plans, but just something we had to do. Next item, we didn't do the minutes, right?
Move to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Adams. Any adjustments or amendments to the minutes? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the monthly bills, and you have those bills before you. Anybody have any questions or comments, suggestions, or whatever with regard to the bills?
Accept the bills as presented.
Have a motion to accept the monthly bills as presented,
Second.
and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? Motion carries. We did vote on that, right? I voted on that, right? You need this, yeah. I couldn't get it. There it is. Next item is the transfers from Fiscal Court. $40,000 monthly jail account. Any discussion or comments about the transfer? If not, what's the pleasure of the court?
Make a motion to do the transfer from the general to the jail.
Motion by Commissioner Adams,
Second.
second by Commissioner Gamble. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is an amendment for the sheriff's office having to do with $16,295 in unanticipated revenues for the sheriff's office. And they want to amend the budget to increase the receipts of the sheriff from general fund by $16,295 to include unbudgeted receipts. And is this going to change the sheriff's budget is approved on a line item by line item?
What'd he say?
I said the sheriff's budget is approved on a line item by line item basis.
Yes.
And is this going to exceed any of those numbers?
Will it exceed any of the numbers? Will it exceed any of the numbers?
No.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the court?
Move to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Daniel to approve the amendments to the sheriff's budget in the amount of $16,295.
Second.
Motion. And a second.
Second.
And a second, okay. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is transfers from the sheriff's office. Transfers in the amount of $7,615. Travel expense, $1,116. Bonds, $1,500. And police equipment, $5,000. For a total of $7,616. Going to gasoline, computer expense, well, gasoline, I guess, is $7,000 worth, and computer expenses is $116. Any questions about the sheriff's request?
Motion to accept the transfer from the sheriff.
I have a motion by Commissioner Gamble to accept the transfers.
Second.
And a second by Commissioner Adams. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That's all we have on the agenda this evening. I'm sure that in the next 3 or 4 weeks or so that it's going to be necessary for us to try to close out everything going down to the end of the year. We may have to have another special meeting or whatever, but we will notify anybody of any changes. We had with us a couple of people that skipped school last week or last month. They didn't show up. So I don't know if we're going to smack them or lock them up or what we're going to do. But we didn't miss you guys. At least that says something. See? So Gary, is there anything you'd like to report on specifically, or Regina?
I don't have anything to do.
Regina, you got anything you'd like to?
Nope.
Okay. Has anybody mentioned, did anybody call you about that? I called that Amy Barnes and left her a message. Did anybody else get hold of you on that. Are you familiar with the CDBG grant?
I wrote it, yes.
That's what I thought for Doug Castle. It's kind of got stalemated someplace down in Frankfurt from what I understand, and we've been trying to find somebody that can shake it loose. Has anybody mentioned that to you? Can you?
I've talked to Paul about it, and I suggested that y'all call Amy Barnes. She's the.
Well, and I'm hoping that she'll be in Lexington tomorrow or whenever, Wednesday. So maybe that'd be a good time too. I just thought maybe you might have
They had very few questions, and what questions they had, we answered them immediately.
That's-
Overnighted the questions to them, so, the answers to them, so.
that's what I understood. That it shouldn't be an administrative issue.
No, I'm sure that's not it, Judge, just,
I did, Sandy did tell me 4 or 5 weeks ago that she doesn't know if it's the season or what, but she said some of those payments were slow in getting back to the ad district, so maybe we can find out something down there this week. We appreciate everything you guys do,
thank you, Judge.
and Harry, I'm glad we've never seen anything like what they've got out there in those fires in the far west right now.
That death toll just keeps.
You know, it is absolutely, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, it's indescribable. You can't, you see those rows of cars
Yeah.
that's parked there beside the road, but it's too late because everybody inside them's dead.
I read this morning, there was, I believe, 50 or 52 firefighters that were fighting a fire, that their own homes had burned. That's the first time I've seen that was this morning, it was about somewhere around 50
Yeah.
homes that burned in the wildfire fires, and they was out trying to put them out, you know.
That's one of the most tragic things I've ever seen. And you know, it seems like every other month we'll have a storm somewhere or a flood somewhere that's going to make you forget about that for a little while till it kicks back in on us again on the other side. But God bless you guys for what you do in the first response. And we need to say a little prayer, I guess, for all those families out there that's been impacted.
5 people in one car.
Yeah, they did. Okay, unless anybody has anything else to say,
Tucker, you had something for Sally Ann there to get approved.
oh yeah, this was laid out. Sally Ann told me the other day that Frankfurt is trying to develop, I guess as nearly as possible, to develop, and I guess DLG got the task of trying to combine some sort of protective policy for personal information security and incident investigation procedures and practices for local government units. Attached a copy of the policy and procedures the Johnson County Clerk's Office has adopted for protection of personal information in the Clerk's Office. Plans been duplicated from the Department of Local Government's policy. And essentially what DLG did was sent copies of this out to pretty much all the agencies in the state and asked them to either develop their own policy, which covers at least as good as, if not better than, what this is, because everybody's concerned nowadays about hacking and losing information on millions of people, and it is kind of terrifying when you think everything we've got nowadays and all the protections that we've got is how good the security is on these credit cards and checks in transit and all those kind of things. And sometimes you'll see where they'll have a little blurb and say, well, Google they got hacked, but it wasn't too bad, it could have been worse. There's only 58 million people involved or something. So everybody is struggling with this thing, trying to help protect everybody's personal information, and we applaud Sally Ann for doing that. This does not need our approval. She just wanted me to mention it, that she's done it, she's adopted it, and I, just as a matter of information, would suggest that I'd like a motion for the court to accept this policy as been presented. Even though we don't have to do it, I want some record of it.
I make it.
Have a motion by Kathy, second by Paul. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And that is all we have this evening. This is a special meeting, so we're not allowed to add anything else to the agenda. So without further ado, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion and a second. Second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.